What do you think about Kanye rant? On with Kanye. From a distance, obviously, I don't know how well you know Kanye. I don't know if you've been around Kanye, but from a distance, what do you suspect's going on?
I suspect that we're pretty awful people if we say that somebody got a mental illness and then we watch what they do. If you say somebody got special needs, then why would you be watching them and holding them accountable like everybody else? Wouldn't you grade them on a curve? Wouldn't you go, whew, this guy? Because, I mean, what are we reacting to? What are we reacting to? You're the one that put him in a position where he thought he was God and could call himself Jesus. And you're the one told a guy that writes musical lyrics that he was a genius. Mm-hmm. You're the one that's like, so what do you expect? The guy married a whore. Well,
oh, Lord.
Like, I didn't mean it like that. I married her because she was one. Not he didn't know. He understood.
Katt said some interesting things in regards to this. So here you got Katt talking about not just Kanye specifically, but overall mental health and the way people worship celebrities. I think it's some interesting points. We're going to get into it. This is Unfiltered Vitamin Z being brought to you by Zaid. Basically, if you notice, with most of these people, they're not super intelligent. They don't have a super credible history and whatnot, but yet they have far more support, like the Kardashians, than average people. And Katt was brutally honest and accurate here when he said, like, well, I don't have an opinion one way or the other because I don't know what we want from this guy. When he's like, that's like getting mad at a basketball player for not scoring a hockey goal. Like, he don't play hockey. I don't know what people expect from Kanye. And he's true. When this entire time with Yeezus and whatnot, you know, the way people have idolized and worshiped him and the ex-wife and everything, it's almost like a surprise that they're the ones are surprised with his character and nature. This is what's been enabled. This is what's been allowed. This is what's been attractive to people for some time. This is what people have wanted to see. And if people really care and they want to say it's mental health, then why are you still watching? Why are you still promoting? Why are you still enabling this shit to happen and not having a different conversation? If it's a mental health problem, then we need to have a mental health conversation. You know what I'm saying? So Katt definitely looked at it from a humanistic perspective, spoke honestly, but still sincerely. You know what I mean? It was funny when he said the horse shit. That was funny. Because I don't know in any other society, you know what I'm saying? I come from Latin America and Middle East. I don't know where, like, you having a sex tape could make you one of the most followed people on social. That was what makes you credible. And having a bunch of fake shit on you is what makes you credible and respected. To me, it's crazy. This is what we want our daughters to see, and what does everybody want their daughters to have the same trajectory and history? It's wild to me. That's what we have shown that we value. You know what I mean? But that's a digital distraction. Thought I heard something. That's the digital distraction. When Rome was collapsing, as they say, they constantly fuel the circuses. You know what I'm saying? As distractions. And little did they know, the whole thing came tumbling down, and people just, boom, took over the entire empire because the Roman Empire was so big. They landed in Rome. Like, how the fuck did you get here? Because you've been sitting on your ass watching this bullshit, distracted, couldn't even hear us crashing down your walls. You know what I mean? And that's what we have right now. You got China and Russia and everybody crashing down on the walls, invading, doing their thing, doing what people have always done. You smell weakness, you attack. You know what I'm saying? This new Clippers stadium, I'm told, is outrageously luxurious with so many different features for the fucking Clippers. All the problems LA has that they could use that money to fix. And it goes to a stadium for the Clippers. But again, distraction of the actual problems, constantly fueling that whole circus shit. And that's where we at. So I do like Kanye. I do, or used to at least. I still do, because I just wish more things were honest. Like musically, for example. If so many things was in a band construct, meaning there was different tools and sets for the production of the beats, and there was different people writing the lyrics, so it wasn't really just you, then market that as a group, market that as a band, market that, give credit where credit's due. You know what I'm saying? Because music, or specifically rap, it's like stand-up comedy or like boxing. It's supposed to be a one-on-one competition. You were supposed to be the one that wrote it. You don't necessarily have to produce your own beats, but and sometimes the hooks, right? That sometimes is in a writing collective process. But generally the bars, the verses have to be yours. And it's a one-on-one. Everybody's competing. And if it's not that, then market it as like, then this ain't really rap. I mean, we can market it as hip hop, we can market it as pop, but that's a band, that's a collective, that's a group now. And I feel like at the end of the day, give credit where credit's due. I think it's better to split not just the rewards, but you're splitting some of that responsibility too. Because if it's good, then it should go back to those people. However, some people might be afraid, like, nah, but what if it's bad? I don't want that falling back on me. Like, take David Dobrik, for example. He faced a lot of heat with a lot of the bullshit that him and white folks do with their crazy stunts and whatnot. And the interesting thing with that is you was constantly pressuring and using your friends to do dumb shit so you could get good content out of it that was building your personal brand and your personal channel name, when the whole time you could have made the Dobrik vlog team, whatever. You could made a name for the collective, right? Give everybody credit where credit's due, split some of that money to everybody rather than just using them to make you famous, and then you being famous sends more people back their way. It's just dumb. It's just weird, right? If they're the ones taking the risk and you're basically pressuring and doing them, and then only using people when there was a certain benefit, like the short Indian dude, only using people when it soothes the narrative of the video, because now you got to face all the blame for it, right? So you wanted to take all the rewards for shit. Now you're going to have to take all the blame for things. But if everybody knows what they're doing, everybody agrees with what the project is, then you are splitting the responsibility for the good and the bad. And it's better that way. You know what I mean? But if it's just you, like me, I'm just here, then yeah, good or for bad, that's on me. Let's try some of this coffee. Right. Going back to everyone earns their place. For someone to call themselves God, right? It's kind of interesting because, again, I thought Kanye was a genius when it came to music. Little did I know there was so many other people involved in the musical creation. That's just wild. So enabling it is, and then pretending to care. It's like white chicks that care about Black Lives Matter and whatnot. But it's those same liberal white chicks that say they care, but their actions prove otherwise. Meaning, the music that they listen to, they don't listen. White liberal chicks don't listen to J. Cole. White liberal chicks don't know Drake's Take Care album. White liberal chicks don't know a lot of the beautiful, poetic, empowering classic hip hop. What they do know is the dumb, marketed hip hop and rap that white people have created, that white label companies have utilized with pharmaceutical companies to get these contracts in place so that specific drugs can be referenced so they could be pushed and moved. So really, these chicks talking about listening to all this violence and drugs and pushing that and showing there's a market for that is what has plagued Black communities for such a long time. So they don't really care. Otherwise, you would see in what they act, and you would see in what they say and how they act to be a lot different. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the white liberals want all Black folks to be like George Floyd. They don't really care. At the end of the day, they want all the Arab countries to be savages. They want to hold us to a lower standard than hold other countries because they assume we cannot rise to a higher standard. They'd rather us continue to be barbaric and savages. And that's just the way it is, rather than tell us, hey, if you had a high, because here's the thing, generally speaking, in the West, liberals don't have a high standard for themselves, right? Look at the way they dress and talk and act. Generally speaking, a lot of these blue cities, not states, blue cities like LA or Seattle, and they're disgusting, and the people there are disgusting. So they don't have a higher standard for themselves, so we can't really expect for them to care about minorities and hold us to a higher standard. But then you see a nice, sexy ass chick, probably traditional, conservative, Republican household, right? If we were going to guess, generally speaking, you know what I'm saying, especially in the South, they hold themselves to a higher standard. So they expect other people to hold themselves to a higher standard. And that's the way it works. When I'm clean and classy, I got an ambition for more money and more knowledge, I expect other people to do the same. And I associate with other people that do the same, regardless of their skin tone, regardless of their color, their background, right? The only color I'm seeing is green. So if I'm about growth, I want other people around me to see growth. But if I care about degenerate shit, I want other people to care about degenerate shit. Have you ever noticed how a lot of these liberal groups, when they do have a minority, let's say a brown Muslim kid that's liberal, they enjoy him and they like him when he's not that Muslim, when he is more liberal, when he is more spiritual than religious, when he is drinking with them and gambling with them and fornicating with them, when he's doing all the dumb shit, right? But yet, the person who holds themselves to a higher standard, take a good Christian boy, right? Take a conservative dude from the South. When a Muslim tells him, nah, sorry, I don't drink. When a Muslim comes to him as a traditional Muslim, when he comes to him as somebody that practices his faith, I'm just using this as an example. When he comes, motherfucking squirrels. When he does come to him as who he is, not as the version that they want him to be. He respects it. Oh, cool, you don't drink? That's fine. My bad, man. I won't drink in front of you. Or let's meet at a different place. You can't meet at a bar. Let's meet at a coffee shop. That's fine. You know what I mean? He respects that enough to say like, oh, cool, because I got standards for myself, standards for how I live. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna respect the fact that some might not agree with it, but he's gonna respect the fact that someone else has standards for how they live and how they operate. So he's okay with him being who he is. You know what I'm saying? And that's at the end of the day all I can expect from somebody. Is if the relationship is contingent on me talking and acting and behaving the way you do, the way you want me to, in order to fit in with your circle, then we don't really have a friendship. And more times than not, it's been around the white liberal folk more than white conservative folk that have always noticed that change, that the way I talk, the demeanor, the language, the tone, and everything has to fit a narrative for them. It has to fit their comfort level more so than mine. Does that make sense? I don't know how we got here exactly from the Kanye thing, but it's just an interesting comparison to say that if we really do care about the people we say we care about, how come our actions never really follow through on what we be saying? That's why follow what people do, watch what they do, not what they say. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, hopefully Kanye does get his shit together. This whole thing was like a fucking nightmare. It was hilarious, but it was at the same time like, yo, does anybody know this dude? Because I feel like he doesn't have a social circle, doesn't have friends. I've said this for a while because I always felt like I was like a Kanye whisperer, and I kind of knew what he was saying, knew what he was thinking. Dorian from Group 82 said the same thing one time in a video, and I was like, yes. And he's a bit older, so he was in college at the time these music, gems were dropping. And some of the interesting component is like when you have an honest, loving group of friends and family, they're the ones that hold you accountable to your dumb shit, right? I got boys I expect to call me out on dumb shit when dumb shit occurs, and vice versa. And I feel like in his circle, especially in this Hollywood and whatnot, kind of lost that, kind of didn't have that anymore. You know what I mean? So we'll see. It's always best to have somebody like Katt. You know what I'm saying? When you have somebody that's honest and that fears God, no matter what ethnic background, national background, religious background, skin tone background, you know what I'm saying? It's always good to have somebody who fears God, holds themselves accountable to things, and is honest, because they're going to expect the same things out of you. And that's the way it works. We oftentimes don't know what we don't know. And sometimes our own pursuit of things blinds us to how we're being perceived by the world. And we need certain people to keep us in check. Now, granted, you can't listen to everybody, because everybody giving you advice and talking to you about how they're perceiving you a lot of times could come from places of insecurity and jealousy and whatnot. So it's not even being accurate of what they're actually providing. You need somebody else that is on their shit to come correct you on your shit too. You know what I'm saying? And steel sharpens steel, or iron sharpens iron. I've heard both expressions. I'm not sure which one is supposed to be the more accurate one or the more historical used one, but you get the point. Anyway, if you like this types of videos and whatnot, I got other comedy clips. I got other longer form audio podcast if you listen to audio. But if you want more videos, more video content will be coming to this channel. So thank you. Subscribe to Zaid UFZ. Leave a like and a comment below. You can follow me on other socials. If you like written form of content, I'm on X as well. And Instagram 365UFZ. Peace.